Welcome back to It's Not a Sport. Welcome back to It's Not a Sport. We're officially in kind of the release season of video games, starting in September. This is when all the big games, because holiday season kind of starts to ramp up, and this is when all the releases start to come out. The two big releases I'm looking for in September are the Destiny 2 Forsaken DLC, which if you have listened to the show before, you know I'm a big fan of Destiny, and really hope that this brings Destiny back into the light. And Spider-Man. There's also some smaller ones like Shadow of the Tomb Raider comes out this month. Life is Strange Episode 2, if you're interested in that. Some sports games is NBA and FIFA, but mostly Spider-Man and Destiny 2 are what I'm looking forward to. In terms of esports, Overwatch just finished their All-Star event, which was a lot of fun to watch. It was a lot of fun just to see the pros goof off for once and do whatever the hell they wanted to. Lucio Ball, Atlantic won at Lucio Ball. 6v6 Mystery Heroes, Atlantic won that as well. Widowmaker 1v1, Pacific won. Talent Takedown, Pacific won. Lockout Eliminations, Pacific won. Widow 1v1 Finals, Pacific won. And the official All-Star game, Atlantic won. The VODs are up on their website if you want to go check those out. They're kind of fun to just, watch and see the pros goof around. In terms of League of Legends esports, we're in playoffs now, and qualifiers just ended with TSM moving up in the bracket, going 3-2 with his Echo Fox, with TSM 3 wins, Echo Fox 2 wins, and 100 Thieves also moving up in the bracket, 3-0ing FlyQuest. So the next match, which will be September 1st, will be Cloud9, which is our second place, in a second place seed versus TSM, and Team Liquid, which is our first place seed versus 100 Thieves. And then on September 9th will be the finals. In terms of EU LCS, Splice had 2 wins versus FC, who will move up in the bracket, and they will verse Team Vitality, which is EU's second place seed. Misfits 3-0 G2, and they're versing Fnatic, which is EU's first place seed, and the finals is also on September 9th. We have a great show this week. Last week was Gamescom, and there's a lot of interesting news that came out for, things to look forward to for the holiday season. We're going to cover it all. I'm going to give you my opinions and things you should definitely take a look at. Let's move on. So welcome back to It's Not a Sport. If you didn't know, last week was Gamescom in Germany. There was a lot of good, interesting news and footage that came out of this, and we're just going to hop right into it. Starting with Cyberpunk 2077. If you're a fan of the Blade Runner series, and you've seen the most recent Blade Runner, and you're thinking, wow, I really would like that to be a video game, then this is the video game for you. Recently, for this game, it was 43 minutes of basically a gameplay demo of the game, and it looks amazing, and all the rumors were to be true. I imagine it to be kind of like Deus Ex and Fallout in a way, but fully mature, where like you get your rated M mods, like the full nudity mods for Skyrim, which seems to be, confirmed a thing, and it was indeed in first person, which was also to be confirmed a thing. But it's basically, the best way to describe it is Blade Runner, the video game. And if you I highly recommend you go check out the footage because it's very cool to watch, and it's just all the kind of things that they add with it, like all the aspects and perks that you can get, were really cool to see. And I really hope that they just go out of this world with them, where it's still in a realm of possibility, but we can get just so wacky, so crazy, so just fantastic when it comes to technology and just cyber augmentation, that we can just see some real crazy stuff with it. After Cyberpunk, Battlefield 5 gets in the open beta. It's on September 4th, which is the same day Destiny releases the Forsaken DLC. Honestly, I've heard that Battlefield 5 and Call of Duty have not been doing well, especially with them both having Battle Royale modes. It's not something I look forward to. I was a fan back in the day, but now with just so many other good titles and good games out there, I just don't think that these shooters can really compare to like Overwatch and Fortnite. It's just very hard to keep up, but they're gonna keep making them, and people are gonna keep buying them. Fallout 76 gets a new trailer, fun little trailer. Bethesda likes to do this. The game should be coming out in, I believe, October, so they're just kind of hyping it up a little bit. Super Smash Bros. They're adding King K to the roster, which is really cool to see that they're still adding characters. This is one of my most anticipated games for the years. I'm super excited to play Smash on the Switch. I just asked, where's Waluigi at? Assassin's Creed Odyssey got some endgame trailer with you fighting Medusa. The Assassin's Creed series for me will never be what it used to be. It used to be so story driven, so open world, so rich in culture and just linear gameplay, which I feel like Assassin's Creed should always be kind of linear. Now with this, I'm playing Odyssey, or not Odyssey, Origins right now, and I do enjoy Origins, but it just doesn't take a hold of me like Ezio's storyline did, especially with like the level system where I want to explore the world, but then I want to just go right back into whatever quest I was doing, but now I can't do that because I'm capped off at the level. I think like maybe leveling helped in some aspects, but for me, it did an awful job. It really just hindered the experience for me. But adding endgame to Assassin's Creed, adding Medusa, which Assassin's Creed has always been kind of mystical. The Assassin's Creed has always been mystical. It's cool to see that, but it also seems like they're kind of copying, like, I just feel like they're stealing just in a way from God of War in an aspect. They're trying to make it maybe more like that culture-wise, how God of War was so rich in culture when it was in Greece and Rome, and then God of War 3 was or the new God of War that just came out, God of War 4, my bad, was supposed to be set in Egypt, but now it's not. And you can also see that, well, it's to be expected, but they're using the same engine and things haven't really changed. So it's really just like, I suspect maybe minor changes in UI and format and how that runs, and then everything else to be the same as Origins with just new story, and them just kind of building upon Origins, but it will never be what it used to be for me. Resident Evil 2, we got to see some gameplay of this. I think this is gonna be a big one. Capcom's bringing a couple. They're bringing Resident Evil 2 and they're bringing Devil May Cry, but I think this is good for just to see just a classic remade. Resident Evil 2 for me, I really enjoyed watching the speedrunners run it. So I'm interested, like at SJGQ, if it gets in there, how the new Resident Evil speedrunners are gonna run this game. Because it's basically a completely new game from the old one, where the old one was kind of top-down, bird's-eye kind of camera view, and now this one's third-person. I'm also glad to see it being remade for the older generation. I believe my father mentioned to me that this was kind of the first Resident Evil he played, and of course I think it's a Resident Evil that really kicked off the franchise. So it's good to see that. From Software's new game, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, looks really interesting, to be honest. Japanese developers have been very big on samurai in the last couple years, and this year, especially at E3, there's a lot of games showcased for samurai, but I think for this is them trying something new with their formula that they know that works, and really a more mobile push on the Dark Souls formula, because there seems to be a lot more mobility in the game, a lot more stealth, and it seems to be really kind of relating to a way to the name of the game escapes me. I think it's called Nikiro or something like that. It's came out a couple years ago. I know there's a second one coming out. It's also kind of a Japanese samurai Dark Souls type of concept game. Next, Shadow of Tomb Raider, which comes out this month, I believe. Got some new gameplay. Tomb Raider games in the last couple of years have been very good. I think they've been worth playing and worth experimenting. I think they brought the franchise back and brought it into a new light for my generation, especially. I'm looking forward to this. I've always been wanting to continue playing Tomb Raiders after I played, I believe, the second one that came out, and I believe this is either the fourth or the third. After that, Devil May Cry got some gameplay. It's good to see a hack and slash, because we don't get a lot of hack and slashes anymore. People were thinking God of War was going to be, classic hack and slash like it's always been in the franchise, but then they came out with an entirely new concept, which worked great, by the way. But it's good to see a good old hack and slash. That and Darksiders 2, which I believe is further down on the list, but Darksiders 2 is also one of... I love Darksiders 2. 2 was a good one for me. 3 is what's coming out. Darksiders 3, it's really good to see another Darksiders. It's another good hack and slash game where we just don't get a lot of these, and they're just fun to just sit back, relax, and just, slash a bunch of demons, and they're both similar in that, right? Life is Strange 2 gets its first official trailer, which I also believe comes out this month. Life is Strange has always been it's a cringe series for me. I couldn't play the first one because it's so cringy to like high school, like when you just watch one of those cringy chick high school movies. It's really kind of just hard to watch, but it's a great franchise. I really like their soundtrack choices that they pick in Life is Strange, the music that they pick in Life is Strange, and it's hopefully to continue Life is Strange 2, is great. Moving on, Blizzard released another Overwatch animated short. It was D.Va's animated short. D.Va's not my favorite character at all, to be honest. I think just her, I have no problems with her, but she's not my favorite character. But it's always good to get one of these every once in a while. If I had to say who I have to see an animated short for, I feel like this is one of those emotional ones, and the May one that they did last time was also one of the emotional ones. I feel like I need a more lore-heavy one, something to do with maybe Reaper or, Genji, or they already have one, but, something more lore-heavy. I feel like the last two have just not been that fantastic. But it's always good to get one of these. For Honor got some stuff because, they're still trying to support that game. It was recently free on Steam. It's good to see them still supporting it. I don't know how it is, but it's still to see them support it. Spyro Trilogy gets some stuff shown off. And we get some good stuff for the Switch. We're getting Diablo 3 for the Switch. They showed off some Metroid as well. Halo's Master Chief's Collection is being added to Xbox Games Pass, which is always good if you're a Halo fan. You have the Xbox Games Pass. They showed off some more Kingdom Hearts 3. Nothing new, just a Toy Story level. Like I said before, Darksiders 3 got some trailers, gameplay, and boss fights. They showed us some Star Fox stuff for the Starlink game. Mario Party, which is also another game I'm really looking forward to, because the Switch is really, that's what Nintendo's really building off, and that's what the Switch is known for, is to play with friends. When I was in LA for E3, the people I was staying with, you know, they had a Switch, and we just sat down and just chilled, and we just played Mario Kart. Recently, my friend had a birthday party. We went to his house. We just played Overcooked on his Switch. That's what the Switch is really made for, is for those type of party, fun environment games, and Nintendo's always been good with that. And it's good to see Super Smash Bros. And Mario Party coming out with that, especially with this new feature, which Mario Party will play on 2 screens. That's, you know, pretty actually crazy for the Switch. The StarCraft franchise, excuse me, is getting a Battle Royale mode. You know, nothing new. Every kind of game's getting it nowadays. And then there's some other small games that get some cool trailers. Saints Row 3 is also coming to the Switch. That should be fun. No Call of Duty news, which is interesting since Call of Duty's coming out very soon. If you've been following, you know, like I said before, Spider-Man, I believe, is getting, you know, a launch trailer, or should be getting a launch trailer, along with Destiny 2's launch trailer, which I believe came out today. So you could check that out because, you know, it's interesting. But all in all, that wraps up Gamescom. It's kind of a shorter episode, but there's some cool information. I just recommend that you kind of go take the time after this and look at the trailers. If there's anything interesting, let me know. I'd love to hear you guys' opinions on all these new games and everything that's coming out, since now we're entering kind of, you know, the launch of all the big titles. Thanks for watching It's Not a Sport. Check out the links in the description where you can find everything and all sources of It's Not a Sport. Also check out the stream where you can find some quality content. This is Salty Waffles signing off, and tune in next week for another great episode.